Hey there, Chad here. Thanks for joining me. This is Ostranauts, and this is going to be the start of my latest Let's Play. At least that's the hope. We're going to get through the starting up of a new game, and hopefully it'll be one that is viable to go ahead and play through. But I thought I'd do it as a live stream for a couple of reasons. I need to get a little bit better at these, and it could be a little bit longer than a normal first episode video would be, and I also kind of wanted to make a spot where people could say, okay, well, let's just skip that part and start with the meat of the game a little later and make it kind of an easy distinction. So here we are. We're going to go ahead and start a new game, and that'll take just a moment here as it's loading that up. This is going to be build 14 of Ostranauts. I haven't done a Let's Play in several months now, and I haven't played a lot of it in the meantime, but there have been a ton of UI updates. Some stuff I'm really looking forward to, some stuff I'm hoping I didn't miss. There's clearly some changes that have gone into place that I might not be aware of, if I'm being honest, and just kind of kicking the game around and seeing where things were from when I last played. I think I'm in good shape at this point, but I'm honestly not 100% sure I have everything down that I need. So hopefully we're able to skip through some of the rougher spots, and I don't know if I like the glasses or not. I'm trying to decide if I want to keep those. That kind of looks like my glasses. I could go with that, I guess. We'll do that. And the rest of us isn't too terribly bad. This is one of the hardest parts always for me, which is really super silly. It should be totally easy to do this piece, you know. I do want to make sure I give myself a name that I'll remember. We'll go with what I normally use. And there it is. He's in his undies there. Let's see. Was there anything else I wanted to change? There, I guess that's fairly masculine looking, right? We'll go with this. And I'm going to hit done. And we'll go ahead and get started. Now, the character builder for this, if this is your first time through this game, it's kind of based on the game Traveler. I had the opportunity to speak with the developer at one point, and I asked him that question directly, and he laughed and said, yeah, he really was a big fan of the Traveler role-playing game series and how character generation occurred in that. And so they borrowed quite a bit from that, where you have these events that happen that give you particular skills in that. And I really enjoy that. I'm glad they kind of went with that pattern. It's a lot of fun to actually work through. So we're going to hit OK here to get started. Now, my normal MO is there's particular, what do we want to call them, abilities that I'd like to get, and just kind of kicking the tires. I went in, and instead of doing Seek Adventure, I did Work on Self, and I set them all. And in order to get those all in that manner, my age was like 37, which you don't really want that. You start to get feeble and things like that. I would really like to get started in about 10 years. So we are going to use Seek Adventure, and we are going to cross our fingers that the random number generator gives us some good outcomes here that help build the character quickly. And that is not one of those. This is not one of them that I love getting. We'll go ahead and say hack the lock. I think that will help, I suppose. What do we get here? Skilled in hacking. So we picked up the hacking skill. That's good. That is one we want to get. And we have a new friend. They're a shipbreaker. Okay, we'll hit OK, and we're going to do that again. We'll do this a few times, and hopefully we get the ones we want. Another one that I don't love getting seems to be my luck, I guess, with this today. We're going to say, I don't know, maybe bluff? We'll try bluffing. Okay, skilled in forgery, skilled in acting. I don't know what those help with, but that's okay. We're going to Seek Adventure again. Come on, let's get one. There's one. I liked it in this one. Normally, I like getting it to get hacking. You hit hack engine, you get hacking, but you also get genius, which my understanding is speeds up how quickly you learn about things. And that can be really, really helpful in the long run. Let's go ahead and do this once, maybe twice more. The gambler. I don't like this one very much. We're going to fold. Oh, well, we got $900 for that. Okay. Not bad. Now, in the past, I had kind of insisted that my characters get to $5,000 or credits so that they could afford the salvage license before I got out of the resume builder. We're not going to do that today. We're going to go ahead and try this maybe once or twice more. Well, that wasn't the best one I wanted either. We'll go with the smuggle through black market though, because I think that gives us the contact in Mescaform for the black market. So we'll go with that. And let's try one more. I really want EVA suits. There we go. EVA suits. We'll do suit maintenance. That helps quite a bit. There are one or two other ones I would have kind of liked to get that we didn't. Yeah, we'll go one more. Not the greatest, but this will get us there. Let's do... Well, we have hacking. We could risk that, but then we end up in jail, and then I don't like that start at all. Let's go with... let's go with seduce them. Okay, well, we have a new ex-crush, Eunice Kemp. Very good. And it made us skilled in cooking, dance, charismatic, and beautiful. Wow, all right. I guess that'll work. I think that'll do it for the Seek Adventures. We're going to have to do work on self and pick up a couple of these on our own at this point. We have EVA suits. We have spaceship engineering. I guess those are good. Zero G ops. We want that as well. I don't know the need for acting. I think you can turn these off and get time back. Yeah, you can. So I'm going to turn that one off. I'm going to turn dance off. I don't know what I need that for. Physics I'll keep. The one I really want here is armed melee. That's one that I needed to grab. And then there are a few up here that I really want to get. Specifically, these three. And it costs 9 years to do those. Let's go ahead and grab them. The three are mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, construction. And you'll notice now I'm old and falling apart. I'm a slow healer. I have bad metabolism, all those kinds of things. Yeah, that's what happens. Boy, don't I know it. Street etiquette. We'll kill that one, save a year. We can also, I often take, I don't like having feeble, which we probably will have in here. Unfit. That's the other one. Fit and unfit. We're unfit, but we get 3 years bonus for that. The other one I don't mind taking is shy, because I do tend to be shy, actually. Tend to avoid talking to people too terribly much in public and things like that. Immunosuppressed. Permanently weakened immune system. Yeah, not great, but the other one is hypovolemic. I think we can adjust this one. We'll take the hit on that. And then is there anything else we really super need to get? I don't know what the purpose of patience is in the game. Slow metabolism makes some sense. You digest food more slowly. I think that means, we are strong. No, we are feeble. Sorry, we are feeble, not strong. Right now we're going to be 30 when we start the game if we don't change anything else. Tidy versus slovenly. You know, I don't quite know. We're going to be 31 now as I turn off fragile. I don't like being easier to harm, because as soon as I am, I will run into pirates, and that's that. End of game for me. Okay, well, this is getting me where I want to be. Now, the only other thing to consider is that we don't necessarily get a great ship right off the bat. I normally hold out for a dream. I think that at age 31, I really don't have a whole lot of options to keep waiting for a ship. So let's see what we get. That one is not outstanding. We're going to skip this one, and we'll probably have to take the next one no matter what. Watch it be horrible. And seek the next ship. All right. Well, we're going to take this one. At least it has an almost nothing mortgage. That's helpful. But we're not going to be able to grab much stuff. Hopefully we can grab enough to start to build it out relatively quickly, but we're going to go with this start. I haven't done this one before, if I'm being honest, at least not that I remember. At my very first game, I know I had a ship that you could do absolutely nothing with, and I almost hung it up. I seriously thought about giving this game back, asking for a refund. I didn't end up doing that, And I guess that's all worked out well for me because, well, this is my third Let's Play series on the game. Not that I've ever completely finished the game. Some people have said you shouldn't have multiple seasons unless it's because you finished the game. Well, yeah, there's maybe some truth in that, but there's a lot of fun in starting the game up too. And I have always kind of appreciated that in some of these kinds of games. Let's get this set up kind of how we like it. That'll work. And we're going to equip that. And I think we're going to equip that, although I think it doesn't actually put those where you want them when you tell it to equip them. Let's see. It did. Okay. Earlier I had them on my hands, and that was weird because I didn't want them on my hands. That's not what I thought equip would do. Nonetheless, looks like we're past that. Turning on some lights. Let's see what we got. Well, we usually want to start here because we know there's going to be a bag in here that we can use. Yay, there's the bag, and then we need the suit. Definitely need the suit. We will pick this guy up, carry him around, probably put it in our hand there. Indeed, it did. And then I like to go ahead and check these out and see if there's anything we can take and sell, because every dollar counts initially. There's a t-shirt. Let's check this one out. Nothing in that one. Is that the one I accidentally clicked? Maybe maybe it was. Maybe not. 2 empty bins now. Let's look in this one. Scrap cloth that's dirty. We'll just leave that there. I don't think we get very much for that at all. And then here, this will be helpful. Another t-shirt. Actually, one I might like. And then some wipes. These we can put in the extra little packet there. And then finally, there will be some water. Looks like water. Drink pouch. Condition has some mass. I think it's got something in it. We'll drop that in the coveralls, though. We'll go with that. I do like to see what the different shirts are, and let's do that. That's okay. How about this one? Not in great condition. That one's okay too, but I think we'll go with New Cal. Okay. Oh, I should probably put some clothes back on though, right? Never a bad idea. Coveralls, there we go. And then let's head out into the hall and go get us a crowbar. And we get our first storyline message. The door to K-Leg Station slides open and you're greeted by the familiar aroma of station vendor fare. Spot prawn stir fry and soya curry. Kebab of chicken in a yaji spice rub. Szechuan beef with pink peppercorn, etc., etc. Yeah, you know, astronauts say that space smells like burnt steak. I remember, is it Chris? I can't remember his last name. The one who plays guitar while he's on the ISS. He's talked about that. He said it seems that the ionization or something, one of the processes they use, kind of makes things smell just a little bit like, almost like burnt beef. And I thought that was interesting. Anyway, doesn't apply here. Can't smell nothing through my computer screen just yet. One of these days, but not now. And we'll pick that up. We now have a crowbar. Everybody needs a crowbar on a space station. And I can pick up this pace a little bit. Let's see how bad we are at things like installing conduit. Here we go. How long is that going to take? Oh, that's actually going pretty good. And that's because we took electrical. And that's why I took it. So this would go quite a bit better. If you don't have it, that little bar, every time it jumps, it like takes a pixel off of it instead of, you know, a healthy chunk. So there you have it. And then in here, there's a couple more things we're going to need, specifically the welder and a knife. There we go. So we have all of the basic tools we need, including a gigantic knife. Yeah, looking good. Looking good. Let's go see what trouble we can find. So usually the first thing I'll do as I'm walking through here is I will hit the supplies table or desk just in case they have a backpack available. And they have a backpack available. Look at that. I always will take the backpack. Now I'm realizing right this second, I can take the backpack. I don't have anywhere to put it because I think all my hands are full. So we'll be dragging the backpack. That's awesome. Let's kind of take care of that. I'm hitting the wrong keys here, folks. There we go. One more try. There it is. And what we can do is we're going to swap this around just like that. We're going to put the knife in one of these pockets. We're going to put the bag in the hand, but everything's going to go in the backpack for now. Then we'll be able to sell that stuff off. Containers like the bag and the backpack are extremely valuable in the game because they give you extra spaces. And the more spaces, the better. We'll do this, particularly since they take up 1 square of flooring, and the backpack can hold 16 items. Can't hold everything, but it can hold some really interesting things there. And I think we can even, no, we can't. I was thinking we could put the bag in one of those, but it doesn't quite work that way. We'll just drop it off on our ship. Let's go ahead and go down here to the ship. If this is your first time, your ship is always in the same spot. You start in this room here, you come down here and get a crowbar, you come around here and you get some stuff here, and then your ship is here. And this is the level of this, sorry, for this space station, this is the level that we have. Okay, let's jump in here. And yeah, this is an extremely small one with no space for anything. We are going to have to be very diligent in getting this sucker built out to improve its our lot in life and in space. I think this is an easy build out real quick, just kind of eyeballing it, although I'm noticing we don't even have oxygen in this ship, do we? We got nothing. That's going to be interesting. The first time we open that, I don't think we have, yeah. We don't even have a door. Okay, yeah, this is the absolute worst ship I've had to start. I'm positive of that now. I'm not even sure what to do. Oh boy, okay, so we're going to put this on the floor right there, taking up most of our storage space. And yeah, I'm just trying to decide how I want to deal with that. We're going to need to do something. We could put a wall here. I have to buy a wall to do that. All right, well, let's just see how it goes. Maybe it'll all work out. I don't think that's going to be the case. Let's go do some missions and see if that helps us. Oh, I was going to set the bag down too. I don't really need it just yet. Put it there. I do like that you can now just drop straight on the floor, because there were so many times before you had one of these grids for the floor, and I would be dropping over here and like, why can't I drop it? Why can't I drop it? Now you have that and it's available. Of course, first couple hours of playing, I'm probably going to keep going, where's the floor? Where's the floor? But I think in the long run, I appreciate that you can drop things directly there now. Okay, let's come on up here. We're paused. We want to come in here. We're going to use the gig kiosk. Courier, from commercial to old emporium. Well, we're not there, so let's move on. This one goes to commercial. Perfect. Let's do it. Special order replacement screen. Okay, we can do that. We'll take the gig. We will jump out of here. I tend to pause in between these steps so that I can be sure to earn the maximum level of bonus that I can on these. This needs to go to commercial, as I recall. So we are going to access the transit and go to the commercial district. And we get another one of these. So we're in the Ezekwe commercial district for the first time, and it tells us a little bit about it. This is where the colony embassies, the medical kiosk, and the ship broker live. And we're going to go ahead and confirm that. We learn a little bit more about some of this stuff. I'm going to go ahead and move on. There we go. And paused once again while I find the kiosk. And we go to its access locker. I really need the money right now. I think that's even more evident now that we know that the ship we have is a flying tin can. We'll pause that, drop this in the kiosk, yay. Then we will use the kiosk and turn in the gig. Gold tier payout. So I could have done it a little faster to get platinum, but we made a little bit of jingly there. And let's see, let's go back to open gigs. Here's that courier that goes from here to Old Emporium. We could make as much as another 1,000. Let's see if we can get that done. We're going to take this gig. We are going to pause and grab the access locker and pause and put the switch in here. Come down here. There we go. On our way to the Old Emporium. And more messages about being at the Old Emporium in the Mescaform bar. Go ahead and move along. Come in here, access the locker. Cross our fingers that it hasn't been 20 seconds yet. Pretty sure it has been. Do that. Cancel, I want to use. There we go. My gigs turn in gold tier. So didn't quite make it, but that's all right. Let's see what we've got here. Any more couriers? Here's a courier. Pick up in Port Ezekaway and deliver 1.2 AU away. No, we're not doing that one. Here's one. We could do this one. Starts here. Goes to back to commercial, and we could make as much as 1,000 on it. Don't love the stickers. Don't love the stickers. This gets frustrating when you can't really read what's there, but I get it. And we'll take this one. A little more of the same here. Access the locker. Pick up the manual. Head back to commercial. There we go. Over to the Gig Nexus, access that locker. Drop it in there. And my gigs turn in. Gold tier payout, so about 500 bucks. Let's see what else we can do. That's a great one if you don't mind going, 1.2 AU, same there. Another courier, Old Emporium to Port Ezekaway. This one we can make a little bit more money. I think we'll take that one. Hopefully we're in the right place. Wrong kiosk. So we want to go to there it is. Old Emporium. Okay, we can do that. Thought that's where we were, though. We are not. We're in commercial. Yep, my bad. Here we go. If I had been paying attention, we would have just done both of those at once. There we go. Over to here. 2, not 1. I'm really good at that. I'm really good at hitting the 2 when I mean to hit the 1 and the 1 when I mean to hit the 2. There should be an award for that. I would definitely take it. Here we are. Old Emporium. We'll take this gig. Exit out. Use the locker. Take the ticket. Access the transit. Back to, oh heck, it was commercial, right? I think it was commercial. I might have just blown it. I think I could have gone and looked at gigs too, and I didn't think to do that. Well, that's all right. Here we are. We want to get over here. finally use my gigs. Wrong drop-off kiosk, of course. Yeah, should have known better. Yep, Port of Zeke away. Oh, man. So we have to, so we don't completely screw this up. Access locker. Get this back. There we go. Down here. No prayer of getting a really high-end payout here now. Yeah, that's on me. I tried rushing it, didn't I? Let's close these out when we can. There we go. And then over here. There it is. Hopefully we get a couple of bucks. We're at 3,400. What are we going to get from this one? My gigs, turn it in. We only got 300 for that. Now, yeah, I messed that up pretty bad. Let's return to the top. Nope, not return to the top. Open gigs. And what else do we have? So the real high-end one there, courier, long trip, long trip, long trip. Let's see, locate Barbara Church on Old Emporium and develop a romantic relationship with her. Once trust is established, extract the relevant information from her. Moving on, let's go try this one. Old Emporium is where it will start. Comes to here. Might see if we can do that one. Let's keep moving on down through here. And long trip, and we're back to the top. So, yeah, I haven't quite made the money I was hoping to. Didn't really get the build I wanted, and the ship I took is not really going to cut it for us for long. So, got some things to think about here. Let's see. Find that one that I could do. Cross our fingers on that one. So, Old Emporium, we have to go back there. At least that's easy enough. Okay, and we'll come right up here. Use. I keep hitting the wrong button there. Over and over again. Like I said, I would be the champ if there was an offer for a trophy for hitting the wrong button. Okay, we'll take that. Come over here again. Well, I'm going way too fast. That's part of the problem. I'm just burning time. Access the locker. Remind myself of where it was going because I already forgot. There we go. Okay, this one, that makes sense. Access the transit. There we go. I see Marco has joined us. Hi, Marco. You're asking about major updates. The UI is very different than it was last time I did a series, which actually has been several months now. I think the last video I recorded for it was in April. I'm not 100% sure of that. When I was looking through what I had done, though, I think April is what jumps out at me as being the last one I did. And yeah, there are some significant differences. One that I really love is that if you want to put something on the floor here, you just drag it over here and put it on the floor instead of having the floor grid that would show up like a backpack and that kind of stuff. That one's kind of new and interesting. And then something else we haven't talked about at all is when you do orders, you can paint like squares now instead of having to hit every square that you want to, lay floor in. You can just say, do it in this area and make a big, square or rectangle, and it will take care of that. No, don't go over there yet. We don't want to do that. We want to stay right here and use this. Go to my gigs and turn this one in for, I did get gold at least, but could have used a little bit better than that. So that's the major change that I'm aware of that is something really players would notice fairly quickly. I think what we're going to do for now is come down to the ship and do some cleaning up. of this ship. And we're going to hit auto task and just let him rip for a little bit. See what we can do with that. I am still seeing some stuttering. It felt like that had gone away for a while. I wasn't seeing it, and so it could have something to do with streaming. Could have something to do with the game itself. I know I've seen a few people ask, does it still do that? I know on my newer computer, I've noticed it a lot less than on my much older computer that I think we had bought like 7 years ago. So it ran well enough on that one that I was able to make videos in that, right? It did have a noticeable stutter, not unlike this though, and hopefully that's a temporary thing or maybe related to what I'm running right now. Whoopsie, I misclicked there, didn't I? There we go. Went to my splash screen. And yeah, he's getting some of this done. I do like the new look of the visors, and I like the fact that you can set them to different things. In fact, for me, while this is pretty obvious, I can see what's going on here. I don't love the shades, and what I can do is come over here to visor, and I can go to damage, just like that, and I can change it so it uses the same configuration as the electric. It uses golden instead, and so when we look at the damage out here, that's the power. That's the damage. It didn't keep it. Well, normally it does. I've actually done that a couple of times, and it has worked fairly well. Damage, I think there's something I didn't hit. Oh, well, I hit escape. That probably didn't help. There we go. So we should have power and damage. It's not keeping it today. All right, there's a button somewhere where I probably need to hit and say, oh, that's the one I meant. And yeah. Come on, proximity alarm. Go away. Here we go. Nonetheless, we can set those now. We can have different color schemes, and I'm a fan. It's not keeping it. Anyway, moving on. I paused. That doesn't help at all. Okay, well, thank you for ending there. That was really starting to get annoying. Let's go up here. I want to, so we're going to cancel. I want to trade. We're going to get rid of a couple of the shirts in that I bought. And maybe let's see if we have any new gigs that we can try taking. Did I say bought? Shirts that I bought? I didn't buy the shirts. I found the shirts. We're going to get rid of this one. We're going to get rid of this one. Not a lot of money there. A little bit. Anything to buy? More than likely not that we would want to take with us for now. Yeah, not really seeing anything. So, okay. And we did get the backpack from supplies, so I doubt there's going to be another one yet. But let's take a look. Nope. No backpack for now, and that's okay. We haven't set up an area for the ship, and again, I'm skeptical that I can really go anywhere in this ship. I don't see oxygen. I don't see an easy way to get oxygen on here. So I'm pretty sure as soon as I open that door for the first time, I will live until my pressure suit runs out of air. And that's going to do it. That's why I was hoping to get a little more money and maybe take a look and see if we could get an EVA suit or something, but I don't know that that's going to work for us just yet. You know what? Let's find out. If it's, you know, a quick death here, then I guess we know and we can move on. So we're going to go and use the nav station. Have not renamed my ship yet. I'll probably look into that soon. As you can see, this is the first time I'm even accessing this screen, as it gave us the handy dandy little sheet of notebook paper. I love that. Kind of reminds me of the pilot's clipboard that was in one of the Cessnas I flew a few times. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. So we're going to set, there we go. We're going to set that, and let's go ahead and see about getting out of here. K-leg, we want to request undocking. Well, I have to hit the clamps button. Doesn't do it automatically. I'm looking over here, not paying attention down here. There we go. And we're going to back away. And we're going to move to the right. Now it looks like it's working for us. And then we're going to speed up time a little bit. Slow it back down. And then we're going to get ourselves aligned with the ship we are trying to get to, which is right. It's not there anymore. There it is. Okay. So bearing 55. And getting that to 0-ish. Cross. Wow. I'm going to slow this down. I feel like I'm barely tapping things and it's just flying. There. Oh, nailed that. And then we'll pick up the velocity. We'll be there in less than 5 minutes. So let's say 3 minutes. So at 14:45, we'll get back in the pilot seat. For now, let's auto task. There we go. That should get us almost there. We will use the nav station again. 17 kilometers and looking pretty good. And we'll start to slow down now. Wow, we're just tearing through it. We'll hail this ship. Here we go. Initiate uncontrolled docking. Coming in very fast. Let's slow that down a little bit. Wow, we are not slowing down nearly as fast as I'd like. There we go. Good news is we're lined up pretty well. I've been slowing down to about 35 lately, and then that's pretty... Whoa, 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 whoa. What happened there? I hit the wrong key is what happened there. There it is. First derelict. The clamps on your docking ring engage, and your hull resonates like a struck gong. I think they do a pretty good sound effect there for when you first dock with something, don't they? When your sensors scan the vessel for data, you close your eyes and imagine the fortune that could await you on the other side. I just love that. It makes me feel like I'm 11 years old again for some reason. Like when you would play Dungeons and Dragons and you would like keep re-rolling on the treasure table until you got the, 99 roll, and then you got the whatever it was that was on the chart. It does feel that way a little bit when coming into a new ship, particularly for the first time. Okay, if you're a salvager, yeah, we can. Everybody should be able to read through that. If you're playing this game, you probably can read because it's a pretty complicated game and there's a lot of reading. So I will let you all be to it if you wish to read that. But nonetheless, we're carrying a heavy load. So what are we going to do here? Well, my sense is we're going to die very quickly because I don't think that I can survive outside of my ship for very long, even with this fun stuff. Okay, he's been carrying some of the tools around. Let's get that taken care of. He's going to have to put these on. I can't remember. Do we take off the shoes? I think we do. So shoes go, well, no great place for him, actually. We'll carry the water around, and then we'll put this in here. Nope, that one. There we go. And a helmet. And then we're going to cross our fingers, but I have a feeling that we are kind of roached here. Oh, I have to adjust the roster, right? And tell him that he can disembark and he can open airlocks. Otherwise, he won't even try, which is a good safety measure. I think if you're a new player, that's not obvious. I don't know if the tutorial walks you through that or not. I hope it does. Wow, he doesn't have a whole lot to see here, does he? Let's see if we do have a light. There we go. Plenty of holes in this ship, that's for sure. Oh, we never bought a salvage license, did we? So we're going to have to be kind of careful as to what we take. Let's uninstall that O2. Is there much in there? Yeah, it's not bad, actually. Did I hit restore or did I hit uninstall? I meant to hit uninstall. Let's cancel and uninstall just in case I missed it. Looks like you got it. We're going to pick it up, haul it back. There we go. Oh, okay. So here is where this comes into play, where you can just put things where you want them. So we hold this. Don't even hold it. Click it. And there we go. And now here's the moment of truth. Would I be able to fly home right now if I chose to? And I think as soon as I pop this off, yep, we're in a vacuum. We are not going to make it. If I can find a way to install a pump really, really quickly. I saw there was one here, but it's probably in, oh, it's in workable shape. Let's uninstall that. Oh, too low though. We're not going to make it, folks. Well, this has been a very short playthrough of Ostranauts. I made it all of about an hour and 50 minutes, it looks like. Thought that might happen. I really didn't love the character build out that we had on this one. It wasn't kind of conducive to how I like to play the game. So I'm not horribly, horribly disappointed with that. I am glad that I'm getting to jump back in here and do some fun stuff and kind of, yep, he passed out, didn't he? Yep, went limping or sleeping. And in just a moment, well, if I unpause the game, we'll be dead and get the angry game over screen. So what's new and in the game in general? It's mostly UI updates. They're preparing for their big release. I think it's called Fire in the Hold or Fire in the Hall or something like that. They're looking to allow for ship combat, is my understanding. Not a big fan of that myself. I don't think it's necessary. I love this game how it plays now. I love the idea of going around and exploring things and kind of having to deal with pirates with a knife or a machete or a handgun, and that's enough combat for me. I don't need the ship-to-ship stuff. Lots of different reasons I'm not a big fan of that, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to play the game anymore. I just won't focus on those areas of it. It seems like anytime we get an interesting game, though, that's space-based, it always has to evolve into something where combat occurs, just always. One of the biggest moving mods for Kerbal Space Program was the weaponization one, where you could build missiles and things like that. And I don't know, I just always, it's curious to me why we always have to go those directions. This is a great exploration game. It's a good survival game, and I love that too. I'm not going to knock the game for trying to be more inclusive for people who want to play differently. I do hope that it allows me to play the way I like to play once all that comes out. And that will be a big deal for me, I suppose. Again, not saying I would stop, but I'm just not looking forward to that part of it. I don't think it's necessary. So there you have it. All right, well, I think I'm going to go ahead and end this episode. I'm going to end up re-rolling a character, and we'll kind of start fresh once I have something that I can work with. And maybe the best way for me to do that is to just create it and then start my Let's Play, because I made a couple of attempts this morning to create a character that was going to work for me, and I really struck out. It's almost like I kept getting the same pattern of character generation questions. It was almost the same every time. And one time I got a pretty good series of items, and I had forgotten to change my name. And so my name was Dora something. Yeah, that was awesome. I wasn't going to go with that. So there we have it. I thank you for joining me on this. If you like these live streams that just kind of come up once in a while, let me know. Leave a comment. I believe the live stream is otherwise available. You can usually go out and find them if I can figure out how to properly put it in the system that they're searchable in that. I've had a couple of live streams of other games where it does look like it gets a few views afterwards as well, and I'm really happy to see that. If there's a way I can maximize the ease to find those, that would be great, because I would love to maybe once every other week have a Let's Play that's or part of my Let's Play that's a couple of hours long, as opposed to the trying to fit into what YouTube says is ideal sort of thing, and keep from breaking things up that way. But nonetheless, I really appreciate you spending a little bit of time with me on this Sunday afternoon. And again, please don't hesitate to leave questions or comments in the comments. I am happy to see what I can do with those. And beyond that, thanks for your time. And until next time, fair travels.